All right. Good evening, everyone. We're just going to take some time here to let all our participants enter into the meeting, and then we'll get underway very, very soon. Okay, so we do have quite a few people registered for tonight's meeting, so we'll just make sure that we give everyone ample time to get in here, but I think we'll be able to start in a couple minutes. Hopefully everyone can see my shared screen. Okay, so I see we're up to 64. I'm just looking to see, we do have a member resident joining us tonight who does require ASL interpretation. So we do have two ASL staff on hand tonight. So you may also be able to see their windows as well if you're viewing from home. Okay, so we're up to 65 now. So I think we're going to get underway. So good evening and welcome to tonight's neighborhood meeting. My name is Tyler Butler and I am a planner with the City of Barrie's Development Services Department. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to present to you, the neighborhood, a development concept being considered by the owner and the development team of 268 Essa Road. This is occurring prior to a formal development application being submitted to the City of Barrie. This forum is going to provide an opportunity for the development team to hear the initial community feedback and incorporate it into their plans prior to making the full and formal development application to the City of Barrie. Please be aware that we are recording this meeting for the public, and the recording will be used for the purpose of garnering your input and to respond to inquiries and will be considered public information. Please also be aware that as a registered attendee tonight, your mailing and/or email address will be added to the mailing list so that you can receive further information about this application as it progresses. Now, should you have any questions regarding this collection, please feel free to contact the Development Services Department. I would also like to let everyone know that there are staff behind the scenes tonight managing the technology, and they're here to make sure that the meeting runs smoothly, to grant participants the opportunity to speak, and to assist with any questions in the chat. Please bear with us if we do have any issues, and if for some reason you do get disconnected, please feel free to log in again, and we'll do our best to get in here. So the intent of tonight's meeting is to provide members of the public with an opportunity to become familiar with the development application and the planning review process, and to also ask the applicant questions and provide feedback. So what you can expect tonight is a presentation from the applicant, a brief review of the city's review process and timing, an opportunity to ask questions and identify comments and any concerns with the application. What to not expect tonight is a city staff recommendation on the application or a detailed analysis on the proposal, as this will occur later in the review process. And you should also not expect a debate on the merits of the proposal tonight between city staff, the applicant, and residents. Following the neighborhood meeting, applicants, before we get into the presentation, I just wanted to quickly highlight these next steps in the process. This neighborhood meeting is established early in the development process to ensure local concerns are incorporated or addressed through the city's review. After this meeting, we expect that the applicant will make a formal submission for this development project. Formal submissions undergo a full technical review and must address comments received from this neighborhood meeting and from the city's technical departments and external agencies and from members of the public more broadly. In conjunction with this, a statutory public meeting will be held on the application at the Affordability Committee, and that meeting will be held in person. And at that public meeting, the applicants will present their formal concept to council. They will answer questions and provide an overview of the responses to any issues and concerns identified during tonight's neighborhood meeting. As part of a public meeting, members of the public also have their own opportunity to provide verbal and/or written comments. Now, following the public meeting, staff will continue the technical review process and the applicants will make any necessary revisions to the development proposal. Once the review process has concluded, a staff recommendation report will be brought forward to council for their consideration. Now, all comments received throughout the process, including those received at the neighborhood meeting and the public meetings, will be identified and addressed within the staff report, and it will form part of staff's recommendation on the subject application. A staff report for this particular application would likely brought forward sometime in 2026 should a formal application be received. So now I will move on to the applicant's presentation. And as mentioned, the proposed project and application will be presented first, followed by a question and comment period. So tonight we are focusing on an official plan and zoning bylaw amendment proposed at 268 Essa Road. The applicant's planner is Michael Keane from Foten Planning and Design. And now I will hand the meeting control over to Michael, who will first introduce himself and then share their presentation on the proposed application.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for attending the meeting tonight. My name is Michael Keane, and I'm a land use planner at Foten Consultants, Inc., based out of Toronto. And I'm here tonight to present Typhon Group's application for official plan and zoning bylaw amendment at 268 Essa Road. And I just want to reiterate a few points that were brought up by Tyler. This is the very first meeting in our application. This meeting is occurring before we file a formal application with the City of Barrie. So what you're seeing tonight is a very first concept on what might be possible on the lands, and tonight is an opportunity to share that with the neighborhood, and the feedback we gain tonight would be used to have further discussions with staff as we refine the concept. When we finally have a landed concept, we have to complete our technical studies that will form our formal application that would then proceed through the processes that Tyler outlined a few minutes ago with formal public meetings. So following this meeting, there will be a few-month process while the application materials are formulated and put together. Now, that's not to say the concept plan on the screen tonight is not without information to help inform it. For example, there was work done related to traffic impact, as well as water and sewer services. So the concept is informed by these studies, and it helped to really present the level of density that we are suggesting is possible on this site tonight. So just a second while I get to where I need to move the screen for you. So just zooming in at the site level, the property has frontage on Essa Road, and it's located very close to Highway 400. It's a large property, former industrial lands. It's over 3 hectares in size, with 165 meters of frontage on Essa Road. These are just a few aerial shots along the way just to capture some of the street frontages of the site. It is right now in a fairly natural state with some clearings and certainly some trees along the way. And these, you can see the pictures were taken by Ollie Switch, who is the project manager for the development. Just moving into a little bit more context for the area. On the screen, you can see a couple of different color categorizations of the different uses that are nearby. The pinky color highlighting the commercial uses that are in the area, with the yellow color picking up the low and mid-rise residential uses that are in the area. You can see the highlighting of some of the transit routes along Essa Road, and a couple of green areas, which are parks and environmentally protected areas that are near the site. And that's just bringing you a little closer to the context of this area. So the first layer in the city of Barrie that regulates development is the city's official plan document. And I've highlighted two different maps. One map showing community structure, and the other map showing land use. And so on the left of the screen, you're seeing the community structure map and this large mustard color area that's called a strategic growth area. And these are areas in the city of Barrie that are the focal points of long-term areas for residential growth, for commerce, for jobs, and for social interaction. And these strategic growth areas are going to accommodate some of the higher levels of intensification and the taller buildings and the higher densities in the city. And they're also mixed areas. It's not like this is this whole yellow area would be residential. It is mixed. On the right side of the screen, we move to a finer grain detail, and we start looking at the land uses that are assigned to this area. And if you're a local resident, you'll know already that this is a commercial district with a lot of commercial uses. And what you'll see on our site is that on the official plan, this is a site that is designated high density residential. And so what that means, some of the simplest things, is that along the buildings that would face Essa Road, they would need to have ground floor commercial uses in those buildings. There is a minimum density that has to be achieved. There are minimum heights that have to be achieved of 12 stories. There are also maximum heights of 20 stories. And you're probably saying, but Mr. Keene, your heights are higher than that, and that is true. And that is part of the reason we're presenting this meeting, is that we will need an official plan amendment if we are going to achieve those higher heights. And so those high density policies for over 20 stories would require an official plan amendment. And as part of that exercise, we'll have to complete a market study to ensure that that height is warranted. So it's interesting to note on the map as well that in this uh, in this strategic growth area, this site is the only one that is designated as the high density. And you can see, some of the medium density that is nearby and the low density to the west on the west side of Essa Road. Moving to the current zoning bylaw, the zoning hasn't caught up with the official plan at this time. And so this property is zoned light industrial right now. So, partly from the former use on the site. So we will also need a zoning bylaw amendment to change these lands to a zone that is more suitable of the high density designation and the use that we're proposing. Moving into the finer grain of the development plan concept, we're proposing 6 residential buildings, and they range in height from 18 to 30 stories. They are a podium tower design, so they have larger bases on their buildings with fairly narrow point towers that would stick out of these larger bases. Just to give you a sense of some of the setbacks to the area, to the southern setback, which is a building to a property setback, ranges from 13.5 meters to 15.7 meters. The northern setback, which is to the commercial use, is less. It's 5 meters. And then the two setbacks along the two roads, they're irregular in nature. So they don't follow like a standard pattern per se. But we're looking at distances that that are ranging in that 5 to 15 meters. Moving into more of the site statistics, like at this point, what the architect has done is they've designed these core buildings, and then they use math to extrapolate the approximate units that would be possible on the site so that we could assess for what type of services, what type of traffic impact might occur. And the numbers will be refined as we move through the process. So right now, what it looks like is that this project may be capable of approximately 1,800 units. Because it's laid out in a podium tower design with underground parking, the lot coverage is actually quite low. The buildings only take up 31% of the site. And this is partly because of the generous setbacks, and it's partly because the parking is largely underground. And so it makes it so that there's 54% of the area left open for landscaping. And it means that 15% is what's left for the driveways and the surface parking that is proposed. I just have a few more images to share with you that just explain a little bit more about how the site might work and what it looks like. You can see the large at-grade Central Park. You can get a sense of the various building heights that are proposed, and you can see how those towers sit on top of those bases. And you can see that there would be some amenity areas on those podium levels that would be for the residents to use. I've got a series of views that were provided by the architect just to help visualize the model that they've prepared for the site. And you can see from this view would be from Essa Road, looking straight into the site, looking through that Central Park area, looking at buildings that have a taller first floor to accommodate that commercial use. And, it's a tower on podium design. Balconies would be anticipated. This is now more of a bird's eye view or like a podium level view, looking down on that central space and looking to the west across Essa Road. This is just looking at that internalized pedestrian space, which right now we're just showing as a treed park area, but designs will certainly evolve as we move forward and as we gather your input. This is a 3D model looking at the buildings that are nearby. The gallery development is 6 stories, just in terms of giving you a comparison to what these buildings look like in context with what are the other the next tallest buildings in the community right now. Just a couple more perspectives to take a look at what these look like. And I'll just skim through a few more for you. I had asked the architect to prepare a cross section for me just to give a sense, recognizing that this is a new form to the existing neighborhood, just to get a sense of some of the setbacks to some of the uses. And, partly because the site is irregular in shape, we do have larger setbacks to the lower density residential uses. And now, in preparing for the meeting today, this is a cross section through the center of the site. So what's not shown on the screen is the closest distances. So I've tried to measure the closest distances to help people in the room understand what those might look like. And at the southernmost part of the site along Essa Road, that is our closest point to low density residential use, and it's also our closest point to the medium density gallery development. And so the closest point with the townhouses that are on Quail Crescent, the right of way, so the part that is Essa Road, so not just your pavement, but the shoulders, is over 50 meters wide. And then with the setbacks that are proposed, both backyards to those homes, and then the setbacks proposed along Essa Road, the building will range from 60 to 75 meters away at its closest points. 300 Essa Road is the closest building to the proposal, and it's the windows that would look north to this site. That's the closest point. And at our closest pinch point, the buildings will be over 30 meters apart. So I noted that we need an official plan amendment for this application, and we also need a zoning bylaw amendment. And so we would be proposing a mixed use zone, which, while predominantly would be a residential zone, it makes sure that that first floor, which is a taller height, is convertible. So it can be both a commercial retail floor, and it can also accommodate residential use where it's not fronting on those busier roads. And so that just will ensure that there's a flexible zone moving forward. And the zone will shrink wrap the site. It will provide provisions that will regulate the built form in terms of height and the sizes of the buildings. And the zoning is something that will be site specific, and it will be refined throughout the process. This table is giving you a sense of the reports that we have to complete before we can file the application. So this is a neighborhood meeting. This is prior to filing the application. Input we gain tonight will help us inform this list of studies that's on the screen. And one thing that's not on the list that I mentioned during the official plan is the market study. So that is another study that we will have to complete as part of this application process. And again, just to kind of end in a similar place to where Tyler ended his presentation, after this meeting and we gain input, we will be speaking further with staff and we will be refining and finalizing the development concept. Then we will complete the necessary plans and studies to properly form our application. So we will then submit an application for an official plan and zoning bylaw amendment. And then there's a series of meetings that will come out of that to form, an ultimate decision by council on this application. So I hope you found this information helpful. As a land use planner, every application I'm dealing with is change. So I do appreciate that seeing a notice like this may have caused some stress, and that is unfortunate with the process. So I hope tonight this presentation has helped with some of your questions, and I look forward to speaking with you and answering any other additional questions that you have tonight. Thank you.